of the backup campaign done the previous weeks. And then lastly, we just want to acknowledge the post Ocean made on one of the support channels regarding the monitoring of app reviews as the release nears. We absolutely look forward to the launch and will ensure support monitors and reports any feedback or broken functionality users may experience. That's it for support today, and have a great morning.
Thanks for those updates, Donna. Next up, we have marketing, and I don't see H Payne in here, so I will just read it off today. App Store submission approved by Google. Haven't heard back from Apple as far as I know. Consumer profile and data marketing profile building. YouTube strat finalized with T-Well. Partnership being cleaned up. 130 pending to go. Cleanup process is finalized / optimized as we go. This week, Cosmoverse, Stake Your Atom with ShapeShift, supporting the Foxes who are speaking. UD new batch of code emails. Unstoppable domains and user migration emails. Reminder to go back up your seed phrases. Thorchain to go live later this week, hopefully. Then next up we got H-Pain just came up. Anything you'd like to add, H-Pain?
No, that was perfect. I mean, I would have liked to add a little bit of spice, but good morning, Ron. Definitely make sure that you do check out all of our people at Cosmoverse. We'll be having some really awesome content coming out there. And also, if you do not get a UD email, or if you get one rather, actually, it's really nice for us to hear that you did get them so that we know that emails are working. We got some really awesome email optimizations coming out in terms of some of the different IP fixes and tweaks. We had like a score of like 6.5 out of 10. Last week, we got that up to like a 9.5 or a 10 out of 10. At the end of the week, big props to Willie, big props to everyone who sort of made that happen. And I think we had a lot more success seeing those emails go out. And I'm really, really excited to see some of those insights this next week as we prepare to move out some additional emails. Very, very excited there. Yes, sounds good. Wonderful. Thank you, Ron.
Awesome. Thanks, H-Pain. Next up, we got the Smith and Globalization. GM, the Smith.
Hola, GM, and bom dia. Quick updates for Globalization team. We are running the Cosmoverse operation. It is an out-of-home operation, so part of the team is attending to Medellin during this week. So the community can follow up our updates on Twitter and in Discord. We have been in partnership with Martin, doing some cross actions here and there, not only on Cosmoverse stuff, but with some content production. So we are also aiming this parity. So that's why we started producing content about Rune, BNB. Also, I'm not following the order in the spreadsheet, right? So I'm just covering our updates because I started with the number 5, right? So basically, we'll keep our weekly translation flow and our weekly Twitter spaces, and that's all for Globalization. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Ron.
Thanks to Smith for those updates, and good luck with Cosmoverse this week. Next up, we got Jenkin and the Mod Squad. GM Jenkin.
GM, I think, roughly. It's been one of those days. Weeks, whatever. Mine's pretty quick. Users, the last 7 days, we are basically balanced at 0. 14 days, we did go down 6, but the 30 days we're up 16. We only had one raid, and the forum stuff for Metaphoro, the basic mod stuff is working. It's well enough that I can sign off on it, and we can start getting more things rolling and see how that. I'm not sure what else is left for if Willie has anything on that one, but anyway, it's going forward. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jenkin. Next up, we got Diggy and the product team. GM Diggy.
GM, everybody. Cool. So we have a lot going on as usual. And migration, of course, is the biggest priority. Big push on testing from the product side. We've been doing a lot of testing on Software 2.0 and are excited for everything that's taking shape and really looking forward to being able to get over the finish line with this migration. Working on an overarching roadmap write-up. This was something I took over from Willie. It's kind of a high-level roadmap that will be used as a page on ShapeShift.com. So we're working on that kind of behind the scenes right now. And then MetaMask Snaps, we're working on a landing page for this to support the marketing effort and to get a page up for SEO purposes. And then we're collaborating with marketing on the MetaMask Snaps launch. So we're starting to have that discussion. I think our first discussion around that is tomorrow. And then the Cosmos staking dashboard, there was a bounty for this one. So it's kind of sitting on the back burner. Pushed it forward with one of the new community bounty hunters. He's going to be kicking this off. I just have to do a quick design for him, but we're really excited to be able to get that. And then hopefully he'll also be able to do the Osmosis staking dashboard for us. And then Darwin won't have to manually update that Excel spreadsheet anymore. The Wallet Connect 2.0 bounty is underway and seems like it's moving forward very nicely. That one's being handled by South Bear and in collaboration with the KP workstream. And then Beard worked on a new flow for the Fiat on and off ramp provider. It's really, really awesome. Actually, the new flow is much more intuitive, makes a whole lot more sense. Beard has a version of this on its local environment, so hopefully we'll get to see that soon. But I think everybody's going to really appreciate that. And then OnRamper, which is our newest Fiat on and off ramp provider, is up behind a flag. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Diggy. Next up, we got engineering, and I believe DeFi is around today. GM DeFi.
He is indeed. GM. Pretty much the same as Diggy. Migration is the biggest priority. Kind of engineering is on standby for anything related to the mobile app. We have a few little kind of bits and pieces and tweaks that have to go in. Swapper 2 is now like in review. The last kind of couple of bugs there, thankfully, that's very maintainable code now. So it's likely to get merged today, and then any bug fixes to go into it. That's really the kind of like the longest pole in the tent at the moment, getting that stuff out. Then Rune Trading is just a package bump to going as well. Big thanks to Gomi and Apotheosis there. In the background, BNB is chugging along, but we're going to hold up the migration for it. It may land at the same time. That would kind of be a nice to have, but we're going to go ahead with the mobile user migration regardless. That's pretty much the focus for engineering, just supporting this mobile migration this week, hopefully, and then going back to the multi-account stuff, which is necessary for the beta users migration. So that's pretty much our focus this week.
Awesome. Thank you, DeFi, for those updates. Next up, we got operations, and I'll be reading those. I haven't seen a new marketing thread yet, but once that's up there, I'll populate that into the spreadsheet. As product and engineering stated, continue to push for parity, and ops will be here for testing for that. I know that we had some people looking at the mobile app this morning already in the test environment, so as we see stuff, we'll be pointing it out for best user experiences. Trash report, there were 6 issues reported, 2 resolved, 4 it looks like were UI UX, and 2 were mobile. Old school goat no goats for feature parity on Mondays until parity is hit, and that will stay true for at least another couple weeks. I won't go over the goat farm because everything's kind of on hold for parity. And for the week of 9/19, there were 57 PRs and 4 repos by 10 contributors, no new contributors, and 1 bounty created. And that's it for ops. Next up, we got Kent and Tokenomics. GM Kent, how are you doing? You're muted if you're trying to talk, Kent.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Yes, I was just saying I'm doing good, but I have a bit of FOMO watching all these foxes and everybody down at Cosmoverse in Medellin. It looks pretty cool down there.
Me too. I wish I was there.
Amen. Well, so for those of us not down there, it's just another week in tokenomics here. Let's start off by talking about on the liability side of the equation. We have, for a long time, we've had 2 outstanding loans on Rari Fuse. That was Pool 7 and Pool 79. Last week, we hit a cool milestone by paying off Pool 79 completely. So that is done. All the Fox and Foxy has been returned to the Treasury. That's a substantial amount. I don't have the figure at hand here, but it was a lot of Fox and Foxy in that pool. The other nice thing is now we can focus our attention on paying off the much larger pool 7. I think currently that's at about 700K. So currently the TMDC has authorized us, or the DAO, to pay down about 50K, or exactly 50K a week via the Olympus bond proceeds. Even with Fox plumbing all-time lows here, one nice thing to see is that our Olympus bonds continue to generate roughly $5,000 to $5,500 a day, even with that dip in price. So we're still on track to be paying down pool 7, which is good because it does have a high interest rate. On another front, myself and Willie and John, we spoke to Bond Protocol last week, just kind of about what they're doing. There's some interesting similarities with Olympus. We may be able to get a program started there that will allow us to gain exposure to LUSD, which is a more decentralized stablecoin, and helping us from not having all our eggs in one centralized stablecoin basket. No imminent updates on that front, and the protocol is not quite live yet, but we're talking to those guys who have been so cool on the Olympus side, and it's cool to see them starting Bond Protocol. On the liquidity as a service front, it appears that the tribe community has voted for the pro rata distribution. There's been a few votes about this. It appears unlikely that a over-the-counter deal will happen, where basically some other third party gets all this Fox at a discount and then dumps it on the market. It appears a lot more likely now that what will happen is the Fox that Tribe controls via that smart contract will be distributed on a pro rata basis to all Tribe holders. So this, ultimately is not the worst outcome for Fox and for the DAO. This is essentially a bit of a quasi airdrop. Of course, there will be people that see this Fox in their account and maybe immediately want to dump it, and that could lead to some short-term price pressure. In the event that this causes a real cascading sort of decline in liquidity, this is why we devised this proposal, which actually just passed. That was a pre-authorization to spend up to $500,000 from our stable stack in order to shore up liquidity. But there's some very specific preconditions tied to that. It's unclear to me whether the pro rata distribution would trigger liquidity decline that severe. In any case, that has passed the on-chain process. And then also on the proposal front, we have the VFox proposal that's been in ideation. It's about ready to take to the on-chain stage. We'll be doing that shortly. So yeah, we'll touch on this and much more tomorrow. Hope everybody has an excellent week.
Thanks, Kent, for those updates. Next up, we got the Fox Foundation and Ocean. GM Ocean.
Yeah, BTC, how's it going?
Good. I see your counterpart, Willie, is off at Cosmoverse, so we won't be graced by him today, unfortunately.
Yeah, we can all be jealous from our homes that he's doing cool stuff like that, but it's awesome that we have a bunch of representation there, and I'm excited to hear what comes of it. So I think a lot of these updates have been covered, but just briefly, the mobile app has been submitted to Android and iOS stores, app stores. We did receive approval from Android, and we received some very trivial rejects from the Apple Store that have been remedied, just around the marketing collateral that was bundled with the app for submission. So hopefully, if that's the only feedback we get, then we'll be really happy, because we're much more concerned about some other much more technical and harder to fix things about the mobile app. So that's great news. I think we'll probably know within a day whether or not that's approved by iOS. There's a couple other remaining changes that aren't actually in the mobile app, but involve the web code for the mobile app, mainly around backing up wallets, and then one remaining bug about disconnecting a wallet and some of the state remaining in a kind of like a polluted mixed wallet state. So those two are the things we're looking to tackle that will unblock migration, at least from the foundation side. as soon as we get the green light from engineering regarding Swapper and Thorchain support, or native rune trading support with ThorSwap or Thorchain. Man, that, yeah. All right. Other stuff going on this week. Going to be assisting ops with onboarding to Hack and Proof with the passage of that proposal for the RDP program. And I think that wrapped it up for us this week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ocean. If anyone else has anything, now is the time to raise your hand, or else we can give everyone some time back. It's like we can give everyone some time back. Thank you, everyone.